It's time once again for your Smackdown review. And, well, I have to say, I was very pleased with this episode. It actually was better than Raw 1000, I have to say. And that's kind of sad and a little bit odd at the same time. That in the same week, usually when SmackDown is a pretty shitty show, the one week where they have the biggest Raw of all time, SmackDown somehow manages to beat it. So the night starts off with the Miz and Christian, and you know I thought that this match on Raw was pretty good. I was very pleased with Miz winning the championship after pretty much getting his ass kicked for months and becoming a jobber, which I thought was just pathetic. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he wins the title. And this matchup tonight blew me the fuck away. I haven't seen a TV match like this from WWE in a long fucking time, and it was very good to see. This was an example of great wrestling. You know, when people on here go, oh, we always give the shows bad ratings. What do you want out of wrestling? This is what I want out of wrestling. I always believe that WWE could do better because what I saw from them during the Attitude Era, the TV matches that they would put together that were excellent. A lot of times they couldn't even top them on pay-per-view. And this is what I'm talking about. If you want ratings, put on good matches. And this was a phenomenal match. And I believe I'm not going overboard by giving this 3.5 stars. I liked it. I also liked the old school finish with the thumb to the eye and holding the tights. We haven't seen like a classic like Ric Flair style finish like that in a long time. With this match, this is the Miz's first title defense, and I already think that he has restored some prestige back to that title. When Christian was holding it, it felt bland, it felt boring, it felt like like a Jack's Pacific like toy from Toys R Us, like that kind of Intercontinental Championship, just a joke. But now it means something, and that's a very good thing. So up next, you got Ryback defeating Jinder Mahal by countout. Just a cheap ass fucking match. This is Ryback's best match since coming back under the Ryback character, which is not saying much at all. Still a shitty match. Jinder Mahal gets in more offense than anybody else has, which doesn't really make a lot of sense since Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins at Money in the Bank were in a handicap match, and somehow they couldn't get as much offense as Jinder Mahal did. Jinder Mahal avoids a clothesline and just ducks out and gets counted out. How many fucking times are they going to use this finish to a match? They've been going overboard with these ridiculous finishes all over WWE television. Raw 1000, the main event, just like cheap ass, like just straightforward cheap ass finishes, like cop out finishes, and they did it again tonight, and it's really getting tiresome. Then up next we've got Sheamus and Daniel Bryan in that segment that is not very PG, which is a good sign, but they're going to be PG for some time to come. Sheamus gives him a present, and for his wedding night, and it says how to not last 18 seconds. So, you kind of get the innuendo there. So that's not very PG, but it really didn't make me laugh. So it doesn't really matter. So up next we got Sheamus defeating Cody Rhodes, and this was an okay match. Some problems, like always, with these things. Cody Rhodes once again, loses to the bro kick. Looked more credible in this match than he has in some time, but it's just ridiculous that he's a jobber and just all of a sudden they throw him into a high profile match like this with a champion. It's like, we can't even take WWE and their superstars serious anymore, because it's like they just throw them around. One minute they're jobbers, the next minute they're main eventers. You just can't do that. You have to stay consistent, WWE. You can't just keep throwing your stars around like, oh, you know what? I'm going to shit on them this week, and, I'm going to put them on a pedestal the next week. It doesn't make one bit of sense, and I'm not buying into it, but it was an okay match. Dolph Ziggler comes out and is waiting to cash it in during the match, the briefcase. Tries to at the end, but then at the last second decides not to. Then Jericho throws him in, gets bro kicked again. He's looking like a bitch, Dolph Ziggler. Let's be honest here. He has gotten bro kicked every single show since Money in the Bank, and got bro kicked at Money in the Bank. It's just ridiculous that he is the Money in the Bank holder, and he doesn't even look like he poses a threat to the championship. I have said that I am a big Dolph Ziggler supporter. The guy has a lot of potential, but they're making him look like a bitch. Once again, dreadful booking leads to this stupid absurdity. So there you go. Then up next, you got Antonio Cesaro, who doesn't even get an entrance, and he actually beats Santino Marella. So obviously, there's going to be a match for the U.S. Championship at SummerSlam. I'm happy that Cesaro is finally going to get a pay-per-view match, probably. Maybe it's going to end up on the pre-show. Who knows? But, it's nice to see him beating, which Santino is a top star in WWE. As painful as it is for me to say that, he is a top star, and sometimes a main eventer. So, that's a big win. Someone like Cesaro could bring credibility back to the U.S. Championship, because it has none at all now. It's completely depleted, when it's in the possession of someone like Santino, a comedy character. So it's really good to see him getting a nice clean victory over Santino. I mean, there was a little bit of distraction from Oksana, but come on, that's not much. It's a fucking woman, so no excuses. So I just think that they need to work on his gimmick a little bit, bring back some of that that charm and that heelish persona that drew a lot of heat back in ROH, instead of this stupid former rugby player gimmick that no one even realizes that that's his gimmick, because they're not really doing anything with it to develop his character. So we'll see where that goes, but it's a step in the right direction here. They're moving forward, looking to the future. Then up next we got Sandow defeating Yoshitatsu. A little bit more aggressive. He looks a little bit more aggressive every week, but I think that they're trying too hard. It's a one-sided affair. He's just being really aggressive, bashing his head into the barricade. Because he's already failed with his tag team back in 2006. Comes back, is not getting over with the crowd, is not drawing heat for being such like a big heel and that so cocky and arrogant, still not getting over. Still couldn't get over in the DX segment. It couldn't provide anything useful to the Money in the Bank slot that he was given. Failed to show anything of any worth. So, he's a fail, and WWE knows that. And they keep trying with these squash matches, but it's not going anywhere. Stop it. So then up next you've got the main event, and it's Del Rio taking the victory over Mysterio, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. Good job, WWE, for making things very stale once again. You started off the night with a good match, gave the guys some time to develop a good solid match, and then you just throw it all away by giving it the victory to Del Rio. Yeah, Del Rio and Sheamus again at the pay-per-view. They're probably going to throw Mysterio in there to make it a triple threat, but this is not going to get the buy rates up. This is not a main event that anybody wants to see. The main event over on the Raw side is what people want to see. the Punk and Cena match, but this is just, it's boring. The SmackDown title picture is bland and boring. You notice how um, Daniel Bryan, the most promising, the greatest wrestler in WWE right now, takes the job here instead of Mysterio, who's the broken down horse who could barely even move in there anymore, slowed down so much. An okay match. It's 2 1/4 stars. But yeah, just nothing special here really to talk about. Uh, Besides them just fucking over Daniel Bryan and making him look like he's less than everybody else in the match. Someone has to take the job, but it should have been someone old like Kane or Mysterio, not Daniel Bryan. Overall, a good show with some solid wrestling, and the opener was phenomenal. So, yeah, definitely a good episode. I'm amazed.